My dear students of class 9A and 9B, today I am going to teach you lesson number 9, topic Mughal Empire. My points as I am going to mention it in the board. Akbar's relation with the Rajputs. Akbar relations with the Rajputs. You know, the Rajputs were the most war-liking people of India. Akbar initially realized it. Akbar thought that it was the right time for him to establish good relations with the Rajput. The Rajput were fond of fighting, and the Rajput played an important role in India. Akbar's relations with the Rajputs. Now I am going to explain this point. Akbar's relations with the Rajputs. You know, the Rajputs were war-liking people. They were brave. They were great fighters. But initially, they antagonized Akbar. Akbar also defeated the Rajput rulers in many battles, sent a message that he was not a weak ruler, he was a brave ruler, and the Mughals came to India to rule forever, not to rule for few days or few months or few years. And in order to establish his rule strongly, Akbar also felt that the cooperation of the Rajputs was very important to him. And since India was a large country of different communities, different sects, different religious beliefs, traditions, customs, languages, so the neutrality was very important. Akbar adopted a policy of impartiality. He established matrimonial relations with the Rajputs. He offered the hands of one Rajput king's daughter, and the king of Ambar gave the hand of his daughter for Akbar. Akbar married her. She was Jodhabai. And by this way, Akbar established a good relationship with the race, one of the most powerful races of India, the Rajputs. Since Akbar was a tolerant ruler, Akbar gave equal opportunity to all group of people, but Rajputs were given high posts in his administration, since Rajput and Akbar, both of them signed the treaties, and there established a cordial relationship between Akbar and Rajputs. In many battles of Akbar, the Rajputs sacrificed their lives for the cause of the victory. They gained victory, and they strengthened the national unity, they strengthened the national sovereignty and integrity of the country under Akbar's rule. That's why Akbar gave them high posts, and also, you know, they were given high positions in Akbar's army. The next point, Akbar's court. Next point, Akbar's court. Akbar's court. You know, Akbar's court was full of distinguished writers singers, painters, thinkers, religious saints, they embraced the court of Akbar. Who were they? There were 9 gems embraced the court of Akbar. Who were they? The 9 gems or 9 jewels were Abul Fazl, Raja Todormal, Abdul Rahim Khani Khana, Birbal, Maula Dopiaji, Faizi, Fakir Azianuddin, Tansen and Raja Man Singh I. These were the 9 personalities always embraced the Mughal dynasty and its rule. They glorified the image of Akbar. Akbar, who could not write his name, neither he could write his name nor he could read out, but his memory was powerful. Because of his powerful memory, the things whatever he once was told, he never forgot it, and he could recite it prominently, as much as he was recited by another one. The most celebrated among the jewels of Akbar court was Abul Fazl, who wrote Akbarnama, the biography of Akbar. Faizi also translated, on being inspired by Akbar, the 2 great epics of the Hindus, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Akbar was very fond of learning the stories, the concepts, the histories of the 2 epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. There were 2 persons who always used to recite the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Akbar heard it attentively during his leisure, and on hearing all the themes of both the 2 epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, Akbar instructed Faizi to translate it from, Sanskrit or Hindi to Persian language. And afterwards, it was translated, these were translated into many Indian languages under the instruction of Akbar. The name of other prominent jewels, Tansen, enriched the Hindustani classical music in India. Birbal amazed people with the wit, and Todormal was a great capable revenue minister who was appointed by Akbar. Birbal, Todormal was the revenue minister under Shershah Suri, Shershah Suri once upon a time defeated his father for 2 times in the battle of Kanauj and in the battle of Chausa. And because of Shershah Suri, his father Humayun had to lead a very uncertain life. Akbar knew all these things, but still he appointed Todormal as the land and land revenue minister in his administration because of his skills, talents, and what confidence had Akbar shown for Todormal. Todormal proved it to be correct. The policies, whatever he framed for the administration of the Mughal Empire, enriched the glamour and glory of Akbar and Mughal administration, and its land revenue system gave economic stability, strengthened the economic stability of the country. Akbar was able to collect huge amount of revenues and taxes from the peasants and farmers. And peasants and farmers had no grievance against the system introduced by Totormal. That news reached Akbar, and Akbar embraced Totormal. Akbar patronized Totormal, and Totormal also kept on doing the same works for the growth and development of the country India and welfare of the administration for Akbar. So these are the points for Akbar's court. And next one, Jahangir. Who was Jahangir? Now I am going to teach about Jahangir. Who was Jahangir? My dear students, I am going to teach you about Jahangir. Who was Jahangir? Jahangir was the son of Akbar, my dear students. The nickname of Jahangir was Salim. When Akbar had been suffering from serious diseases and the nobles of Delhi were plotting to make anyone else as the emperor of Delhi after the death of Akbar, Jahangir declared war against Akbar. Akbar had great sympathy and love for his beloved son Jahangir. Akbar did not want to raise his sword against Jahangir, since Jahangir was his beloved son. But Akbar had to do it because Jahangir challenged the authority of Akbar. Now why was that? Because Jahangir was misguided by a group of nobles. Jahangir was given wrong information about the health of Akbar. Akbar was out and out a complete ruler. Akbar was out and out a ruler of distinguished skills and talents. He was absolutely normal. There was no physical illness on the part of Akbar. But still, a group of nobles, in order to misguide Jahangir, in order to weaken relationship between son and father, wrongly informed. Jahangir was informed wrongly. But at the battlefield, Akbar stood firmly before his son Jahangir, but Jahangir could not raise his sword for his son, for his father. So Akbar, with huge soldiers, reached there, but a very small group of soldiers was with Jahangir. Akbar proved that he was the real king of India, Hindustan, but not Jahangir. Jahangir deserved no credit. Jahangir realized it Jahangir stood upright and decided to beg an apology. Akbar excused his son. Ultimately, Jahangir refused to establish relationship with that group of nobles who misguided him. They assumed the title Jahangir. What is the name of the title Jahangir? The conqueror of the world. Jahangir was a liberal ruler. After the death of his father, he became the ruler of the Mughal dynasty. Jahangir had a keen interest in art, architecture, painting. He was a great scholar. He wanted his son Khurram to defend Kandahar from Persians. However, he refused and Kandahar was lost to the Persians. The question is, why did Khurram refuse to go to Kandahar and it was lost to the Persians? Because of the conspiracy of a group of nobles and the wife of Jahangir, Nur Jahan. Later on we shall discuss it in detail. This was a great loss to them, as Kandahar was a major trade route between India and Central Asia. But if Khurram accepted the leadership for Kandahar, it was sure he would be able to defeat the rebels of Kandahar and connected it with the Mughal dynasty. But ultimately, Kandahar was lost to the Persians. So it was a great loss. The major trade route between India and Central Asia via Kandahar was gone to the hands of the Persians. Up to this, my dear students, next day, the remaining part. Thank you.